Yeah. Important. Prithvi.
Om Shri Manjunathaya Namaha. I declare the convocation open.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a matter of great pleasure and privilege for me to be standing before you on this occasion of the 24th annual convocation of Sri Dharmasthala Manjunatheshwara Institute for Management Development. Let me accord each one of you a very warm welcome, specifically to the parents of the graduating students, to our corporate associates, to well-wishers, academic friends, our beloved chairman, our chief guest, members of the governing council, and of course, our dear students who are just going to graduate in a few minutes from now. A very warm welcome to each one of you. At the outset, I would like to welcome our beloved chairman, Dr. Veerendra Heggade, who has been the source of inspiration for this institute in its entire existence of 25 years. Dr. Heggade has spent time from time and again on various aspects of the institute's strategy and growth, and has devoted great attention to minor details regarding its progress. It's a matter of great privilege for all of us here, sir, to have you with us. I request our Deputy Director, Dr. H. Gayatri, to hand over floral felicitations to our beloved chairman. us here are very, very happy that we have the chief guest today of the caliber of Mr. Kamal Bali, who is the president of Volvo Group. Mr. Bali has served as CEO in various capacities in several multinational companies. He has also had a very distinguished stint at CII. He is also known for his great contributions to academics, and even in the short discussion that I had with him about a month back, I remember him giving so many tips and indications about how academics should look like in the future. It's a great pleasure to have you with us, sir. I request our chairman, Dr. Veerendra Heggade, to offer formal felicitations to our chief guest. SDMIMD has greatly benefited by the contributions of the governing council members and the advisory board members. In particular, the members present here have taken very active interest in the development of the institute and have given us guidance as to the way forward. I'd like to acknowledge the contributions of our Vice President, Shri.Kamal, who unfortunately could not attend today's meeting. The Secretary of the SDME Trust, Professor S. Prabhakar. I request Dr. Heggade to offer formal felicitations to Professor Prabhakar. Dr. Prasanna Chandra, I request Dr. Gayatri to hand over floral felicitation to Dr. Prasanna Chandra, please. We are Venkat Narayan. Dr. Gayatri, kindly hand over floral felicitations. Shri Raman. Dr. Heggade, hand over floral felicitations to Dr. Indira. To Dr. Saji Gopinath and to Shri Nishit Jain. Now, I have said before you a gist of the activities of the Institute in the 2018-19. I start with our academic programs, the flagship academic program PGDM, which got underway in July of 2018. In the month of July 2018, we welcomed the new batch of first year students and had an orientation program which lasted 1 week. After that, they visited Dharmasthala and had the opportunity to interact with the chairman and also see firsthand the facilities in Dharmasthala and the social work that is going on. This, as in the previous years, has actually acted as a great spur in their quest for value-based knowledge. Concurrently, around June 2018, we had the second year students come back after their summer internship program, and we started the second year with a week of business landscape. This week included debates, discussions on current affairs, how the academic learning can be linked to current problems, also discussions about newspapers and current articles, video clips, and also expert discussions. NSC for helping the finance specialized students to understand more about back office work as well as higher aspects of stock trading. This year, we also started an association with KPMG, particularly for operations students, for honing their skills on Six Sigma. And began as a new initiative to improve the communication skills of students both in the first year and the second year. We entered into an arrangement with PSM for online coaching of communication, where students would go through various tests, have classes, and at the same time assess themselves on their communication abilities. SDM, of course, the last 2 years has been working hard on developing these EPAS accreditation as well as by ACP SP. And both these accreditations have resulted in SDMIMD being able to have more international tie-ups, change internal procedures, and move towards greater quality in both imparting education as well as in interactions. In addition to this, recently we have become members of AACSP, which is also a very well-known international ranking agency, and this will hopefully bring in a wider network of international scholars, schools, and researchers to SDMIMD. On the national front, SDM continued to have the NPA accreditation, which is now currently valid until 2020. All major publications in the country and independent agencies which conducted surveys about rankings ranked SDMIMD quite high during the course of the year. The most notable among them were the rankings from NIRF, NHRB's shortlisted ranking, as well as from NPA universe. Now I come to the batch profile of the students who joined the first year program in 2018. We have a greater proportion of girls in the composition than ever before, and we hope to continue that trend in the future. And I come now to the placement record for the outgoing batch. The batch is just now qualified. SDMIMD was able to achieve 100% placements. Months before convocation, and broadly, the statistics regarding placements is as follows: the average salary was 7.04 lakhs, and the maximum salary was 9 lakhs. But this is a sectoral breakup among the companies which came in for recruitment. It is heartening to note that in spite of the fall in the recruitment from information technology companies, we are not unaffected. SDM continued for the third year running, second year running, the PGDM sports, the special program on sports management in collaboration with CSLMS. As all of you know, sports has become a major industry in the country, with several premier leagues happening not only in cricket but in football and kabaddi. And management of this is essentially now currently being done by overseas experts. So there's a huge gap. There's a scope for Indian students to fill that particular gap. And that is where this course comes into play. Now, over the years, the ensuing year, we want to strengthen the program by having more serious academics also from the institute, by giving some subject orientation. So that not only on sports and sports management, students also are equipped with overall managerial skills. We experimentally started a one-year program last year called PGDM, and it is a certificate program for 1 year. And that has met with good success in the sense that the students have taken very active interest in the program, and we are working on the curriculum and change to make it even more attractive for the student community. The 1 year program, by the way, the structure of the 1 year program was approved by Outlook magazine and was ranked as the 10th best structure in the country. And we also give opportunities to 1 year students to have international exchange like the PGDM students. And they actually visited Dubai for a short period of time. And they also were exposed to project work in Toyota. SDMIMD is now launching in 2019, that is in July this year, the 1 year PG CM program with approval from AICT. Necessary applications have been sent to AICT, and hopefully the approval will come in a few days from now. And this is a 1-year full-time residential program, and which is the design of which is very ambitious. We want to have a blend of corporate experience, case studies, as well as project built into this 1-year period. The most heartening thing in the current year was the increase in international tie-ups. SDM now has 15 international tie-ups with reputed overseas universities. It may be noted that all these overseas universities are accredited and are of high standing. These tie-ups envisage student exchange, faculty exchange, and joint research. As you can see from the names of those institutes, they are very high on the reputation. 24 students from SDMIMD participate in an international program which is now currently going on to several universities. These universities are the University of Heilbronn in Germany, University of Bordeaux in France, University of Pau in France, Texas A&M University, and Nat Sanders University in Taiwan. Apart from our collaboration and one exchange with the Business Analytics Institute in France. In the true spirit of exchange, we had students from abroad visit SDMIMD and spend short periods of time. Texas A&M students visited us in January 2019, and Heilbronn University students and faculty visited us in March. During the course of their visit, we conducted some special lectures, orientations, yoga classes, corporate visits, and a special corporate responsibility project jointly carried out with SDMIMD students. It's a matter of great joy that in overseas universities invited our faculty to hold classes abroad. And as a part of the exchange agreement, 4 of our faculty, Dr. Jagdish, Dr. Sudan, Dr. Prasad, and Professor Dinas, went to various universities and held classes. But what is even more heartening for us is that they all got excellent ratings. And as in previous years, we have had overseas university scholars and overseas university professors come to our institute and teach full courses, seminar courses, and workshops during the course. SDMIMD continues to be one of the few institutes in the country which consistently hold conferences, international conferences in the year. So we have 3 international conferences here, one on economics, one on finance, and one on HR. All these conferences have at least 150 research papers discussed here. Many of them are from India, but about a few of them from abroad. The quality of these papers has gone up year after year. And in order, in the true spirit of SDMIMD's mission, to have dissemination of knowledge and research carried out correctly, we bring out a CD of all these publications at the end of each conference and distribute it so that further research is enabled. In addition to this, we also held a CSR symposium in association with EFMD. It's a 1-day symposium held in February 2019. Apart from that, the conventional annual programs took place with full zeal during this year as well. The Foundation Day lecture this year was delivered by our governing council member, Shri Kamal. We had the international symposium event coinciding with the visit of Texas A&M students and faculty. We had the annual leadership talk delivered by Shri.Kamal in January. And we had a special event on Startup eCell. Our own eCell has been working very well over the years. It has enabled students to develop business plans and understand the difficulties of setting up businesses. But during the course of the year, we have also entered into a tie-up with Silicon Valley for greater understanding of entrepreneurship. But be that as it may, the startup Charcha was the culmination even of the Easter, wherein the students were able to present their B-school plans, their general plan for business, and had discussions with experts from the industry, from entrepreneurs, as well as from alumni, on where improvements could be made. As I said, we now have entered into a tie-up with Silicon Valley, basically on incubation-related matters, and also on creating acceleration programs for the benefit of students in Mysuru, particularly SDMIMD. Things have started, and over the next 1 or 2 years, we expect more students to take up entrepreneurship seriously. The Convergence 3I event is based on industry-academia interaction. So, in association with CII, as we did in previous years, we invited students from various institutes and universities around Mysuru and had discussions with experts in the field of academics and the corporate world, so that it was an interaction by the corporate world on its expectations from students and on the students' expectations from the academia body and the academics' expectations from students. So it was a comprehensive event in which a lot of new ideas brought up. Similarly, earlier in the year, in association with Edinbridge, we conducted an industry academia interaction program as well. NSC wanted us to host a one-day investment awareness program in SDMIMD, which was held, and which was basically intended to give a brief about various new instruments and market initiatives by NSC. We have had several MDPs, FDPs, and workshops during the course of the year. Management development programs conducted by our faculty are becoming increasingly popular, and we have so far confined to holding it in Mysuru, but in the ensuing year, we are planning to hold some programs in Bangalore as well. So these are some of the programs which took place during the year. A couple of these workshops were also handled by our overseas partner, university faculty. Now we come to student activities, which has been also very robust in SDMIMD, and it started as the previous years with the coach event, which is actually the talent search event, as well as the first year students come in. So we have been able to unearth several good talents in the first years, especially in singing, dancing, and over there, during the course of the year, they, along with the second year students, conduct a number of programs for the benefit of the exchange students, as well as in connection with the conferences, and that was very well appreciated. We also had Abhidya, which is the undergraduate fest, which was very well attended this year. And of course, the usual event called Nice, which is completely conceptualized and executed by the students of SDMIMD. It's a B-school fest which attracted students from all over the country. In keeping with the spirit of SDMIMD, the students of SDM contributed, gave financial support to several NGOs, and also became part and parcel of a government school in terms of funding their specific requirements, as well as helping their students in understanding various aspects of education. The students were also not behind in showing their solidarity to national causes, and the difficult flood situation both in Kodagu and Kerala was responded to by our students by having a fund collected and also foregoing some special student events and diverting those funds for this noble cause. It's a matter of great joy for us. Similarly, as a token of respect to our Pulwama martyrs, our students took a candlelight procession. As in previous years, we had the Independence Day celebration, the Kannada Rajyotsava celebration, the Republic Day celebration, and other ethnic festivals based upon students' requirements. One great matter of pride for all of us at SDMIMD is that this campus has come in for great praise from all and consistently for I don't know how many years, 15 years maybe. We won the first prize in the restaurant competition as the best prize of campus. I was very happy that our beloved chairman released my second edition of my book, Financial Management. I was also fortunate to receive the Leadership in Education Award by the University of Bali. Our colleague, Dr. Suresh, got a higher education award. SDMIMD is again, I would like to emphasize this, one of the few institutes which come out with regular publications, internal publications. There are 4 such publications. One publication is called the Journal of Management. This is exclusively for external scholars. And it's gaining in popularity, and that has been currently advised by our knowledge council. We are thinking of escalating that new level by tying up with other major publications. We also have 3 other internal publications. One is called Cases in Management, a devoted case by each faculty. A dedicated paper by each faculty comes out as contemporary issues in management. The third publication, which is excerpts of summer internship reports. We select around 20 best summer internship reports presented by students, ask them to summarize that, and the faculty who guided them would give a summary or would give a managerial input about this project, and this is brought out as a publication. In the research front, general research front, we continued our initiative which was started a couple of years back called applied research. The unique thing about applied research is that it is research on bigger data by faculty, but in association with students. Students are involved in data collection, data collation, and also in finally understanding the research findings. And this has already resulted in 13 such publications come out in 2018-19. The summary of the other intellectual output is given here. Our publication per capita is among the best in the country. We are now striving to make the quality also go up correspondingly. Another important aspect is the faculty have been involved in being members of board, have been invited to several guest lectures outside, have participated in committees, and that is actually the number of all these external interactions has gone up year after year. Another feature here in the area of research was the setting up of the Center for Development Studies. One of the aspects which was pointed out to us during the accreditation process was that the great work that Dharmasala is doing in terms of social responsibility and rural development has not been fully captured by SDMIMD in terms of research material. So the CDS, Center for Development Research, Development Studies, actually seeks to do that. Again, faculty will be involving students and will be studying in collaboration with SKP, RDP, and Group SETI on various specific projects. We also had some discussions with other external agencies, and hopefully over the next couple of years, we'll be able to come out with some very useful publications which will help the social sector in improving their performance further. Students also have their own half-yearly magazine called Dimensions, which also, apart from their own articles and opinion, they also capture interviews of eminent speakers who come to the campus. This year, like in many previous years, we have had wonderful performances by students on tests and competition outside the campus. They actually competed effectively with students from various IAMs as well, and they came back with 5 medals. of us know that alumni is a very, very crucial stakeholder in any institute and also a pillar of strength. And SDMIMD's alumni, many of them are holding very high positions in industry, many of them are very successful entrepreneurs. But to channelize their activities and to help that in the development of the industry, of the development of the institute, the Alumni Association has been formally registered and it's now called Prerana. Prerana conducts special lectures by alumni in the campus. They also plan to hold some seminars. They will also be involved in admission interviews of new candidates and will also be helping the institute in formulating curriculum in the future. And the annual event for Become 2018, which is an alumni meet, was a great success. Another matter of great happiness is that we had no less than 86 guest speakers during the course of the year. These were drawn from academic institutions, international speakers, alumni, and general speakers on social responsibility and ethics and values. So you can see a cross section of that here. Then I come to the end of my annual report. Let me take the opportunity on behalf of all of us here in SDMIMD to congratulate the outgoing batch of 2017-19 who will be receiving their PGDM very shortly. You are an extremely well-behaved batch. And we all enjoyed having you with us. I would only like to say a couple of things before I close. The first thing is, in this changing world, with increased challenges, it is not merely enough to rest on your laurels. You have to actually sharpen your pencils all the time, and so have continuous interaction with academics, as well as continuous interaction with books and literature, so that your skills, whatever has been picked up in SDMIMD, is used very effectively in the future. The second thing I would like to say is that apart from SDMIMD's whole spirit, and that comes from the spirit of Dharmasala, is that not only should you be greatly successful, but you should also have a great career which is full of ethics, integrity, and social responsibility. And lastly, I will appeal that all of you will continue to know SDMIMD and continue to lend your support to various activities of SDMIMD in the future. May God, Lord Manjunatheshwara, bless you with a wonderful career and a great life. Thank you.
Candidates for the award of Post Graduate Diploma in Management, please rise. The candidates will individually receive their diplomas from our chairman, Dr. Veerendra Heggade, the SDMIMD Governing Council. Asta Somani. Akshay D. Mahajan. Anil Tulasi M. Anshul Babu. Atul T.P. Bhavana Swami D.K. Chandan Belgav. Darshan Sabir.
हाँ
Deepti
कष्ट
P.S.
और बहुत बड़े अरे ब्रो बहुत बड़ी
Girish N. Totegu. Kalyan Chakravarti P. Karthik S. Ukeri.
हाँ ब्रो
Kollu Kolluri Snegda. Request from chairman, when the student comes, their parents kindly stand up so that we will know who's the parent. Special request. Smita Mungapu Jyoti. Manan Bajaj. Maya Garg. Rohit Alam Laskar. Mukesh Vashishta. Naveen Nawada. Nirishma CP. Chinnapala Sai Shiva Rohit. Pranay Pathak. Ludwig PR. Raghavendra MP. Rakshit Shah. Raviraj P. Ributaman Singh Chauhan. Sarana Devi A. Yes, Sai Supraja. Sharwan L. Srividya C. Spurti M. Sumant J. Kamal. Yes, Tarun. V. Harishankar Nayak. Vaishnavi U.
Ganesh.
Vinod Kumar N. Vishnu Vijay. Vishwanathan NS. Suchitra KC. Vishal C. Abhijit Jha. Rani Amod Maruti. Anisha Momita Raj. Ashwit GR. KJ Ayappa. Chayan Chandra. Devaya CG. Gopi Pilla. Ikena Otkocha. Kapil Kumar Verma. Kaverma KU. Kaushik PN. Lal Krishnesh NS. Manikanta S. Mayur G. Raj. Ganesh S. Nandan C. Naveen P. Kumar. Nikhil KN. Nitin KL. Kavima Vinesh Rajan, Praneeth Rai, R. Rahul Kumar, Kirani Rahul Damodar, Ramakrishna Sandeepan Patil, Rajina Vas, Royden D'Souza, Sahil Shaktichand Silhi, Saurav Singh, Sharon S. Pito, Shreya L. Siddhapuntili Venkata Karthik, Srinath Rajendran, Sundesh Patnaik, Swati Prasad, Udayana Pratap, Vadiram S. Vishal V. Manan, Vishwas C. Vivek Aradhya SU, Yatish N. Shobita SM, Abhilash S. Aradhya, Ananya Bose, Atul Kashyap T. Basappa Sagar KS, Bhavana MP, Vinil Raj, Darshan Raj S. Varsha Bhimaya, Tichin Sundar, Jishnu Sudarshan, Kartika Raj, Yitali Hari Prakash, Kuldeep N. J. Notita Bhatt, Manjeet Kumar, Mayur Heggade K, Monisha K, Navneet Ballal N, Nayanatara Dorothy D'Souza, Deepak M. Patan-Shetty, Pawan V. Sharma, Pooja A. Unnao, Pratik Tripathi, Radha Agarwal, Rakesh Kumar, Riju Mittal, Ruchit Maurya, Gokusari Venkata Ravi Tej, Saurav Rakshit, Shri.Kamal Mishra, Srinidhi M, Saurav Patnaik, Suman Kumar Das, Sunidhi Srivatsava, Tarun V. Talreja, Urmimala Mujumdar, Vaishnav P, Venukumar M, Vishnu Chaudhary, Vishwas R, Yadunathan CS, Shobit Deharia, Ivan Andrew Albert, Harishankar PR, Chandana S, Manjunath YM, Minister, upon the recommendation of the faculty, I have the honor to present Asta Somani and 137 others from the batch 2017 and 19 and 2 others from batch 2016 and 18 for the award of postgraduate diploma in management. All these students have successfully completed the prescribed course of studies and fulfilled all other requirements. I request Shri Dharmasthala Manjunatheshwara Institute for Management Development, Mysuru, to confer the postgraduate diploma in management to these candidates, of whom all but 130 are present.
By the authority given to me by the Governing Council of the Shri Dharmasthala Manjunatheshwara Institute for Management Development, I award the postgraduate diploma in management, and I charge by thought, word, and deed you prove yourselves worthy of the award. Congratulations.
May I request Shri.Kamal Bali, Chief Guest at the Convocation, to present the medals to the new graduates who have qualified for the special honor established by industry and institute. Ankur Gupta Memorial Alumni Gold Medal for excellent performance in finance goes to Girish N. Rotegi. Suman Narayan Memorial Alumni Gold Medal for excellent performance in human resource management goes to Varsha Bimaya. Gold medal for excellent performance. Gold medal for excellent performance in marketing goes to Pawan V. Sharma. Gold medal for excellent performance in operations goes to Karthik S. Kheri. Gold medal for excellent performance in system goes to Vishnu Vijay. Ankur Gupta Memorial Gold Medal for Best Overall Performance goes to Varsha Bhimaya. Chairman's Distinguished Gold Medal for Best Academic Performance is jointly shared by two students. The award goes to Pawan V. Sharma and Ms. Nayana Dorothy Bisson. Thank you, sir.
सर आगे रख ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಡೌನ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಫುಲ್ ಫ್ರೇಮ್ ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ ಸಂತೋಷ್ ಸರ್
I now request our chief guest, Shri.Kamal Bali, to deliver the Convocation Address.
Done.
The Honorable and highly esteemed Chairman of the institution, Dr. Veerendra Heggade, Vice President of SDM Education Trust, Mr. Shri.Kamal, Professor S. Prabhakar, Secretary of SDM Educational Trust, Director of the Institute, Dr. N.R. Varasula, Deputy Director, Dr. H. Gayatri, Professor Operations, Dr. Jagdish, highly distinguished members of the Governing Council, and I here especially acknowledge the presence of Dr. Muthu Raman and Mr. Jayaraj, learned faculty, distinguished guests, proud parents, and dear students of this wonderful institution. A very warm good evening to you all. I am delighted to be here this evening at the campus of this glorious institution at the 24th annual convocation of SDMIMD, Mysuru. And I truly consider it to be an honor and privilege to deliver the convocation address to our young, bright, future leaders of this country. But before I begin my address, let me first congratulate and felicitate the students who have just been conferred the prestigious degrees for their good efforts on this great day, on this day of great joy and fulfillment. I must also add that I had a chance to chat with Dr. Parsuram just about a month ago, and we talked about education, we talked about leadership, we talked about the India story, and I think I personally was very, very energized. I saw his passion, and I can see that all those values are
very much connected with this great institution. So you all are very lucky for having been here for the last 2 years. Over the next 15 to 20 minutes, you have to be patient. I know you're in a rush with your degrees in your hands, you have better things to do, but I would like to take 15 to 20 minutes of your time to give you my perspective of what lies ahead of you. So I want to just touch upon 5 or 6 things. Okay, where are we today in terms of the operating environment around us? What's happening in the world? What are the challenges and opportunities and the responsibilities which you all will have going forward? And how this world is changing at a very fast pace. And what do we need to do? So I think these are few things which I am going to talk. And maybe then we can discuss a little bit on the recipe for success going forward. That's what I'm going to do over the next 20 minutes. So we are living really in interesting times where opinions are generally expressed in hashtags today, and approvals are through Facebook likes, and communication is being done through smileys and other things. I think things have changed dramatically from the times when I studied. Is that true or no? Yeah, I think thanks to social media, right? But today, as the future leaders, as you step out into this fast-paced, complex and exciting world of business and commerce, interspersed with societal imperatives, it is important for you to understand the opportunities, the responsibilities, and the challenges that this will present, and how each one of you should strive to build your own recipe of your own definition of success. There is no standard definition of success. You got to decide what is important to you, and therefore what are the steps you are going to take to get there. Friends, having covered a moderate distance as a nation since our independence, I would say moderate. We have done reasonably well. We have not done great. We have not done bad. So we have done a moderate distance since our independence. We are today at the cusp of a very major socio-economic transformation. I can tell you a transformation which has never been seen before. So this is happening all on the back of many things happening together. We are living in exciting times with possibilities not only to leapfrog, but to pole vault. I mean, there are so many possibilities today that we don't have to go through all those traditional steps. We can actually leapfrog and probably pole vault if we get our act together. Yet, India's biggest challenge is to create sustainable economic opportunities for all, which will trigger an unhindered virtuous cycle of growth. And that is very important. The virtuous cycle of prosperity, virtuous cycle of inclusiveness, that is something very, very critical. And I think you all can play a very, very big role. So, what are the 5? What I personally see is that there is a tidal wave of change which is sweeping the world. This has never happened before. Change has always been a constant, but the exponential rate of change and the nature of the change which is happening has never happened before. What was happening in 50 years' time is probably happening in 5 years' time, and going forward probably will happen in 5 months' time. That is the level of change that is happening. So in light of that, I would like to share with you 7 mega trends which you will have to take cognizance of, because this is going to reshape our future. The first trend is highly and rapidly evolving disruptive technologies. Technology is something which is keeping CEOs awake at night, because when they get up in the morning, they don't want to see their businesses getting disrupted because a new technology has come and completely taken over their business model. So I think that's the first one. The second is changing business models. The business models are changing from asset-led model to idea-led models, asset-light model. You see the Oyo Groups, you see the Olas and the Ubers of the world. So these are some of the things which are happening, and you will see more of them
happening in the days ahead. So that's the second thing you have to take cognizance of. The third is rapid urbanization. Now this is a very easy word to say, but what does it mean to India? This means that almost 40 crore people from 2010 to 2050 will move from rural India into urban India. What does this mean? This means that you're going to create a country which is 1.5 times of America in the next 30 years going forward. So that's the level of change. Look at the kind of implications, opportunities, challenges this presents. The fourth is changing workplace attitudes. The millennials, you all are coming. You have different set of aspirations than our times. You want quick results. You want everything on the fly, right? So I think you don't want to wait for 1 year of an appraisal period. You want constant motivation. You want constant challenges all the time. So that is another change which is happening, and you will see people of different generations working in the same company. So that can also pose a challenge. Sustainability is now becoming a real serious concern. When I say sustainability, it means whatever you do will have to be socially inclusive, economically viable, and environmentally friendly. You cannot ignore these things. Earlier it used to be a lip service, but now this is becoming a serious trend. So I think sustainability is going to be another trend which you have to watch out for. And last but not the least, customers do not want products anymore. Customers want solutions. What does this mean? That no one company will be able to fulfill the needs and demands of its customers. All companies and institutions will have to collaborate. Likewise, individuals will have to collaborate, because no one person or no one institution will be able to do a 360-degree for customer need satisfaction. So which means that arrogance of large companies will get vanished completely. So you will all have to learn to work together. So that's so these are the 7 mega trends to my mind you must know, and I think you need to pitch yourself and tune your mindsets to be able to handle these. The India story has been, I want to just touch upon the India story. I think we have, over the last 5 to 7 years, seen many structural reforms which are really changing the shape of the industry. I talk of mainly GST, I talk of IBC, Insolvency and Banking Code, I talk of the real estate, things like RERA. Several other structural reforms which have taken place are taking the industry into the formalization. I think they're moving into a formalization of the entire industrial ecosystem, which is a good news, which means that a lot more people will get included. The whole system, the whole financial system will become a lot more inclusive. So India has been an example of how right structural reforms and strong microeconomic stability can actually be pivotal in strengthening the investment climate. We have very good macros today. We have inflation at almost all-time low, at about 3 to 4 percentage points. 10 years ago, we were at about 11, 12 percentage points. So I think we are moving in the right direction. So these are some good signs. We have good foreign direct investments. We have a good GDP growth rate of 7%. But I feel we can actually be doing much faster than that. But clearly, India is a country of a billion opportunities, as many of us say. And if you look at the Niti Aayog document, the kind of stuff which is likely to happen over the next 5 to 7 years is mind-boggling. And I think I must encourage you to please look at what are the kind of things happening in several areas there. Some of all this is good. We talk of demographic dividend, we talk of a lot of stuff. But I want to let you share with you that there are certain critical imperatives. If we do not, because we have lots of legacy challenges. As Indians, we need to work together to sort these challenges out and to resolve them. And I look upon all of you, the youngsters sitting in this room, to really work together to look at some of these challenges. I will briefly touch upon some of these challenges. Please do take cognizance of, you have very broad shoulders, you have a lot of this responsibility, you have the energy, you have the youth behind yourself, and you have the knowledge, domain knowledge which you have gained from here. So I want to talk about number one, the skills development and employment for future workforce. I think that's something very important. And I want to share some data with you. According to World Economic Forum report, The Future of Jobs 2018, more than half of Indian workers will require reskilling by 2022. Whatever skills they possess will become irrelevant in 5 years from now. 50% of the workforce. It's a serious challenge which we will face. They will require at least 100 days of learning on an average. Okay. Second, there are more jobs in the informal economy, 80% jobs in the informal economy, and only 20% jobs in the informal economy. Second, India has the lowest participation rates for women, for working age women in the labor force, barely 25%. This is the worst in the world. It's actually pretty shameful. So therefore, massive efforts are required to ensure that the vision of providing right skills and gainful employment to women is ensured. And just imagine if you were to become a superpower, we say you're the second largest country, you are third largest in terms of purchasing power parity on the GDP numbers, blah, blah, blah. But our women are not in the mainstream. You can't afford to become a superpower if 50% of your population is ignored. So I think it's the responsibility of all of us sitting here to really put that extra effort to ensure that our women work along with us, and actually they will in many areas do a much better job than men can do. I can tell you that. The second is socio-economic inclusion of rural India. By 2030, I told you 40% of Indians will be sitting in rural India. But I think there are some challenges in the rural areas. Still 60% of the population will be in the rural India. So we need to see that they get empowerment through digitalization. And I think efforts like the Jam Trinity, which is Jan Dhan, Aadhaar, mobile phone, trinity of these three things, which is Jan Dhan accounts, Aadhaar cards, and mobile phones. I think we have to take it to a different level if we really want to get this social inclusion at the village level. I think the financial inclusion is very, very important. The third is healthy and sustainable future, which I have talked of, that whatever we do cannot be for the creamy layer or for one section of the society. Whatever we do has to be socially inclusive, environmentally friendly. We can't continue with the fossil fuels. I come from an industry which can be blamed. We are generators of maximum amount of CO2. So we are looking inwards as to what can we do to really change this. So we have to be environmentally friendly and environmentally very, very careful. And finally, of course, social justice has to happen. We have to include all sections of society. If the growth GDP, whether you grow at 7% or 10%, if it doesn't touch every section of the society, it is meaningless growth. In fact, it is a more problematic growth because you will create those islands of have and have-nots, which will be very difficult to tackle. Fourth, youth and your aspirations. I think as the fastest growing economy today, India is a home to the world's almost 1/5 youth. Half of our population is below the age of 25 and a quarter is below the age of 14. So we have very good demographic possibilities, and this will go on until 2050. So this window of opportunity which we have, the next 32 years, this is a time when we need to get our act together. Otherwise, we will lose our competitive edge. Today, this competitive edge, because of youth resource which we have, will vanish. So at the moment, less than 17% of India's graduates are immediately employable. Now this is a big challenge. Less than 17% of India's graduates are employable. Almost 40% of students in government schools in class 6 cannot read class 2 books. That's the level of, so primary education and higher education. In between it's okay. Primary and the higher education are two challenges which India has to this. And I really am absolutely impressed with your society, Dr. Heggade, that you have really, you're putting so much behind this very important imperative of education and skills for this country. Because if this country has to really take that superpower, I think this is the top most priority as far as I think. Also, a lot of responsibility on industries like us. Only 2.3%, listen to this number, 2.3% of Indian workforce has undergone formal skills training. Only 2.3%. 80 versus 80% in Japan and 96% in South Korea. So how do you expect productivity? How do you expect productivity to come at the same level? So we got to do, a lot of us have to work together. Industry has the responsibility, government has the responsibility, and you all have the responsibility as you step into different roles to pay attention to some of these issues. Right? And the number 5 is, these were all legacy issues. The number 5 is jump the bandwagon on technology and innovation. India has to start to innovate. We have great brains, but not many innovations are coming out of India. Innovation capital of the world is just the US. And now Israel is started doing very well. I think this is a challenge I'm throwing to you all, that I think we've got to get into the mindset of innovation. And innovation is not difficult. You've got to have a mindset of innovation. You need to believe and have the courage of conviction that we will be able to do what we want to. So decide what societal problem you want to solve and just get upgrade to the field. I think that's something very, very important. Last, of course, is number 6 is, for me, very, very important, is closing this discomforting gender gap. This is a challenge. And I said earlier, women have to come into the mainstream. If India has to become a better place, a more productive place, a more efficient place, a more honest place, then women have to take leadership roles very, very importantly. Today, only 12% of the boards have women. Only 12% representation of women in the senior position. So I think this is something, and I must share with you some data. What happens after some of the girls they join the jobs? 73% of new mothers leave their jobs. Even after doing MBAs and engineering, they leave the job immediately after the childbirth. 50% resign at the age of 30 to take care of children. 48% of these drop out within 4 months of rejoining, and only a paltry 27% return to work after the hiatus. 27%. We lose 73% women because of childbirth back, and they stop moving the wheel of economic prosperity for this nation just because they have given birth to a child. So I think these are some of the things we need to change. So therefore, I urge youngsters present here today to capitalize on the opportunities and the learnings which you have acquired over the last several years, so that we can make India, which is inclusive, prosperous, robust, caring, and progressive. I think that is something very, very important. Just imagine our demographic size. For a minute, just imagine boys and girls. If you were to recruit from a country of 1.3 billion people, skilled people, this will make our corporations champions. We will have the best resource. If we can choose from 1.3 billion skilled people, it will make no country can come near us. And if you have the market, to sell to 1.3 billion people, no country can come near us in terms of that market size. So skilled people producing high quality stuff and a huge market, we don't have to go anywhere selling to 1.3 billion people because we have already kick-started the virtuous cycle of prosperity. So everybody is a consumer then. So that's a great story. So this is the story we really want to say. That is a demographic dividend we talk of, and not a demographic nightmare where people are not ready to take the future challenges. It's time you realize your opportunity, power, role, and responsibility. And I personally believe that each one of you is capable of doing so. In fact, you are a combination of progressive and out-of-box thinkers. Go out there, be wholly experimental and entrepreneurial, be creative, and take calculated risks. Only with the full utilization of your talents can the country and the world become a better place. What we have today are the global young Indians who do not walk the narrow lanes of chronic biases such as language, region, gender, ethnicity, faith, or any other exaggerated stereotypes or notions of glory. I think this is something which you all carry with you, and I think that's something phenomenal. And this is something which can actually break all barriers, and you have much better choices to make. Additionally, I will not take too long. I will just take 5 minutes more. Additionally, one of the critical success factors is being and nurturing brand Bharat or brand India. Now, this is something I want to spend a couple of minutes with you. If you think of a great product, what do we say, especially engineering product? We say must be made in Germany, right? Or whatever, made in Europe. But made in Germany is equal to high quality. That's the brand perception immediately comes to our mind. And the moment we say made in China, what do we think? It must be a cheap product. I mean, that's the first perception. So, expensive product, premium product, made in Germany, cheap product, made in China. There is a huge window of opportunity here in the middle. India needs to bring a value brand. Made in India means value. It means German quality at Chinese price. That is what we can do. Because that's something. So you all got to really work hard to build your own brand. And brand building has to be a very conscious effort. Brand building is not a bad thing at all. Of course, brand building does not mean that you make false promises. Brand building means you set certain goals, you set certain behaviors, you set certain values, and you walk that path. That's brand building. And I think, and when each one of you starts enshrining a brand which means reliable quality, which means trust, which means innovation, which means sustainability and competitiveness, that's when this whole sigma of all of you will become brand India. So each one of you can actually help to build brand India in a good way. So before I close, I would like to encourage you to look at the 6 things which I always talk of, which is I call PAT, CS, SEG, PTC, DIS, TOC. Anyway, I'll come to that in a minute. Don't get worried about this complex thing. It is not complex at all. So what I'm saying is that each one of you needs to decide. How many of you think you are better than Sachin Tendulkar when it comes to cricket? Nobody. How many of you think that you're better than Sachin Tendulkar when it comes to mathematics? Not so many. Yeah. Exactly the point. You don't have to be good at everything. Decide what you're good at and then put your 100% behind it. So that's what I mean is PAT. Align your purpose, aspirations, and passion. I think that's the first thing. Decide who you are, what you want to be, what you're good at, and then decide what is your aspiration and how do you want to get there. That's the first thing. Second is, which probably is not relevant to you right now, I call it CSS. This is balancing the culture and the structure steering system in a company. This is actually when you get in there, you will understand. So please pay more attention to the culture. That's very important. The third is EEG, which is empower, excite, and galvanize your people around you. Very important. You always have to create excitement and galvanize teams around that excitement, around some of the goals. Transparency and collaboration. In the coming world, in the emerging world, without the mindset of trust, transparency leads to trust, and trust leads to collaboration. So all these things are interlinked. If you do that, you save a lot of time. You become agile. You can miss out number of steps which are required otherwise if you do not have these three things. Number 5 is DIS, which means encourage diversity, habit of innovation and experimentation. This is very important. And when I say diversity, please include women in everything. 50% of whatever system you have at an overall level generally should be women in whatever you see. And last but not the least, I call it POC, but that is actually staying relevant to your customer. Many times our past glories take us to a very, very high level. We think that whatever brought us here will continue to take us year after year. But that is the biggest myth which we have. There are so many names like Xerox, there are so many other names which did not remain relevant to their customers and they lost you. You've got to reinvent yourself every day. Whatever brought you here will not take you forward. So you have to constantly run to stay at the same place. If you run hard, probably you will move little ahead of the same place. If you keep running only, you will stay at the same place because the world is moving at a very fast pace, right? So, therefore, I will conclude. You are amongst the youngest. You are the country's best and brightest people we have. With fast evolving new ecosystem of growth and competitiveness, I have no doubt that you will have an amazingly successful future. So let's come and build India, which is strong economically, which is transparent, this transparency in public life, which is social and gender equity, which believes in excellence and in self-esteem and respect, and which has sustainable development. And last but not the least, we have tremendous national pride. I think with this, wish you all the very best in your next year.
Thank you, sir. I now request our chairman, Dr. Veerendra Heggade, to kindly deliver the address.
ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದ ಶ್ರೀ ಮಂಜುನಾಥ ಸ್ವಾಮಿಯನ್ನು ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥಿಸಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೈಸೂರಿನ ಚಾಮುಂಡೇಶ್ವರಿ ದೇವಿಯನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥಿಸಿ the chief guest of this evening, Shri.Kamal Bali, members of the governing council of the institute, directors and members of the faculty staff of the institute, my dear students, parents, and distinguished invitees. We are extremely happy to have Shri.Kamal Bali amongst us today. He is a dynamic business leader who has been tirelessly promoting the Make in India initiative, which aims to invigorate the manufacturing sector and increase India's global competitiveness. We are fortunate that we have delivered the Convocation Address today, and I am sure our students will derive immense benefit, encouragement, and inspiration from your address. The one word you said about the German quality and Chinese price, and I think Volvo company has made the difference in India of this presence here. I was always wondering the very simple shape of Volvo buses. It's almost like a beauty without ornaments. Because olden days we had all luxury buses made full of glittering grills, lights, and decorations. Suddenly, when Volvo emerged in India, we found a naked beauty without any extra fittings and extra dress. But the pricing was 3 times of the normal buses. So somebody asked the Volvo chairman, I think some Swedish gentleman or somebody, sir, how you are going to survive in this competitive market? Then he said, give me just 3 years time. Once they get into my bus and taste the journey, have the pleasure of the journey, believe me, they will choose my vehicle. And this has come true. And today, perhaps many of the parents who have come, if they have come in a bus, they have inquired whether it's a Volvo bus, and they have come in that. Otherwise, they may not get into that. The tickets were naturally 40 to 50% higher than the normal service, even in Bangalore and Bangalore, Dharmasala to Bangalore. But people preferred waited for the timing to enter the Volvo buses because of the safety, pleasure, convenience, and other factors. So, even an ordinary common man prefers comfort against the price. So, I want to congratulate Volvo company because you have given us employment in India because of the large equipments, road manufacturing equipment you have. What I wonder is, the 99% of your vehicles are operated by the common Indian. My dear students, please note this. The very expensive Volvo equipments which are in road manufacturing or other countries manufacturing things, they are all operated by ordinary citizens of this country, and nobody is even an ITR diploma holder. So the costliest equipment is asked to be handled by an ordinary man, a dedicated man, but he gets such a skill that he operates these equipment so easily. I don't know whether we need management experts at all to handle your equipment. But we skill them. This is skill India. Real skill India is skilling our people, ordinary people, into a very sophisticated equipment. This is the change that has happened in our country, and I wish that more and more opportunities are created for our rural sector. I mean, we are also doing this effort for our cities. So I wish that more and more opportunities are created for our rural citizens through your company. I am delighted to be with all of you on this occasion and wish to share a few thoughts. In the last 2 decades, India has made great progress. We have made some vital contributions to the world, in particular in the field of space technology. Our country has been accepted internationally for its goods and services. Several Indian brands are recognized globally, and we are a force to reckon in many fields. Around the world, professionals from our country are sought after and are well respected. Amidst all this, there is still a lot to be done to improve our work in the face of international competition. While we have made great progress in the areas of science and technology, engineering and IT, on many other fronts, we still have a long way to go. We are faced with the huge challenge of economic upliftment, of the poor, gender equality, which is just referred by our chief guest, illiteracy, corruption, terrorism, among other issues. We need better infrastructure, a good law enforcement system, better education, safety for women, business-friendly policies, to name just a few. And absence of these is having a negative impact on our country. The progress of a nation depends mainly on the quality of its human resources. In our country, if everyone has access to a good quality of education, we will have a large pool of skilled manpower. We need institutes that provide a world-class education. We need teachers who can light the fire of knowledge in students and help them navigate their life's journey. We need students who have the thirst to learn and the urge to participate in nation building. Our institutes of higher learning, the management institutes in particular, have a very big role to play in nation building. Our Our education system must instill good values in our young people and shape them into wonderful human beings who will build a better tomorrow. Our curriculum should equip students with the skills necessary to transform them into confident and capable individuals who will go on to be great managers. These committed youngsters would ensure a safer and better India. They will be the leaders of tomorrow who will be emotionally intelligent and ethical in their outlook. At our SDMIMD, our curriculum is revised every year to ensure that our students get our best. We seek inputs from the industry and incorporate them into our courses. We seek the PGDM program has a mix of foundations courses in the first year and electives in the second year allows the students to gain a firm grounding in a particular discipline of choice. Over the years, we have internationalized the learning experience. While we have the ACBSP and EFMD EPAS accreditations, we have recently become member of AACSP and will soon be seeking the accreditation as well. This accreditation as well. Ethics and values sadly have no value in many managers' view. SDMIMD is indeed all the institutions among under the Dharmasthala Trust necessarily ensure that the ethical and righteous approach is never lost sight of. Every would-be manager's education is based on a firm foundation of ethics and values. To ensure that our students are empathetic and sensitive to the needs of the people less fortunate than themselves, we have a heavy course at SDMIMD titled Socially Relevant Project. As a part of this course, students visit and interact with NGOs and charitable organizations. I am happy that last year's placement, 22% of our placement was in microfinance and NGO sector. Yoga is a part of the curriculum and serves to help young people keep their body and mind fit. An award-winning campus equipped with the state-of-the-art infrastructure and a well-stocked library provides students with a wonderful environment conducive to learning. Add to this, a dedicated faculty team who ensure that they uphold the highest standards in teaching and research, and you have a great place where learning is fun, interesting, relevant, and experiential. As I look back over the years, I am filled with a great sense of satisfaction. We have come a long way since the time we started the institute. Yet I know that there is a lot more to do. I am fully aware that the new challenges in the industry as well as on the managed education front require us to work tirelessly to improve in every aspect. I am sure that the faculty team, ably guided by the director, Mr. Parashuraman, will work in this direction. With your continued support, we will scale greater heights in the days to come. Today is a joyous day for all of us and a momentous occasion for the students who have been awarded the Post Graduate Diploma in Management. It is a significant milestone in your life's journey. I congratulate each one of you and your families on this achievement. In this hour of joy, let me remind you of your larger duty towards our nation and the society. Remember to give back to the society and try to make this world a better place to live on. Your parents have made great sacrifices to help you get this far. Do remember to take care of them and be with them in their hour of need. I thank Professor Prabhakar, who is the main contributor for the success of the institute, and my brother Veerendra. Since I am involved in many activities connected with the personal institution, each one of these personalities are taking care of institutions with the personal attention.
Professor Prabhakar, our founder, secretary of our trust, over last 50 years, he has been guiding us and following all the institutions. So I thank him for his contribution and a careful watch over the activities of this institute. I must say, we have a beautiful set of faculty. Our governing council, when we met in the morning, was appreciating the faculty of our institute. Because this was in closed doors, so I am supposed to disclose it here in front of all the parents and students. That they had a praise for all the growth of this institute, the various departments, the paper presentations, publications, and various things. And I was touched in the morning by the special word of appreciation by many of our honorable governing council members. They have a keen watch on the activities of the institute. Normally in the governing council, I have a habit of keeping quiet and listening to them more. Since I am not a businessman, I am a spiritual head. So I don't get opportunities to hear these people on any other room or any other platform. So in the morning when I was listening to them, initially they take care to watch the development progress of the institute, and in the end they started giving us a word of praise and say that you have more responsibilities and there. I think Mr. Parasuraman has given us a lot of homework to perform. So I thank all the governing council members for their parental support and watch for the institute. I thank all of you. And a special word on Parasuraman, because since last 5 years, 9 years, he is leading this institute, and whatever the dream I had 30 years back when I established the institution, he is fulfilled because of his leadership by his We were the first institute to be independent, autonomous. All the other institutes, they were affiliated to either the universities or the technical universities. But somehow I thought we should have an institute without affiliation to any university, independent, autonomous, at the same time recognized by AICTE. So this decision was taken by me at a very young age, where I had no experience of life perhaps, and when I was more ambitious to see that our institute stands out in the country amongst others. So when Mr. Parasuraman said we are within 20 of all the institutes in India, I think we have reached a satisfactory state and our responsibilities are growing. So I wish to congratulate Parasuraman and his team of faculty for the excellent performance they have done and for the leadership that he has given and the involvement he has been with. And I must say that Parasuraman is not a director appointed, but he is director selected and contributes to the institute as his own. Every time he participates in the meeting as an institute that he loves, he wishes to develop. And so ಯಾವುದೇ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಹಾಗೆ ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವುದೇ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಮ್ಮ ತಾಯಂದಿರು ಮತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯ ಮಹಿಳೆಯರು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಯನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಮತ್ತು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ನಾನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ, ಅವರು ಗ್ರಾಜುಯೇಷನ್ ಆಗಿ ಬರುವಾಗ ಬಹಳ ಸಣ್ಣ ಮುಖ ಸಣ್ಣತೆ ಇಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಇವತ್ತು PGDM ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೋಗುವಾಗ ದೊಡ್ಡ ದೇಹ, ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮೀಸೆ, ದೊಡ್ಡ ಗಡ್ಡ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಬಹಳ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಪರ್ಸನಾಲಿಟಿಯಿಂದ ಹೊರಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಹಳ ಸಂತೋಷ ಆಗಿದೆ ನನಗೆ ಧಾರವಾಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಮತ್ತು ಡೆಂಟಲ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ PGಗಳನ್ನು ನೋಡುವಾಗ, ನಮ್ಮ ಆಯುರ್ವೇದದಲ್ಲಿ PGಗಳನ್ನು ನೋಡುವಾಗ, ನಮ್ಮ ಈ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಯಲ್ಲಿ PGDMS ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನು ನೋಡುವಾಗ ಐ ಫೀಲ್ ವೆರಿ ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಪ್ರೌಡ್ that we have taken care of their health. ಅವರ ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ, ಅವರ ಬುದ್ಧಿಯನ್ನ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ, ಅವರನ್ನ ಸಸ್ಯಾಹಾರಿಗಳಾಗಿ 2 ವರ್ಷ ಸಾಕಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಭವಿಷ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾಗುವಂತ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಗುಣಮಟ್ಟಗಳನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಅಂತ ನಮಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಸಂತೋಷ ಇದೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ವಿಶ್ವಾಸ ಈ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ಮೇಲಿಟ್ಟು ಈ ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನು ನಮ್ಮ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಿ. ಇವತ್ತು ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವರನ್ನ ನಿಮಗೆ ಹಿಂದೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ.
ಅವರನ್ನ ನೀವು ಮತ್ತೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದಿನ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ನನ್ನ ಭಾಷಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ಇಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷ ನಿಮ್ಮ ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯವರು ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇನ್ನು ಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ನಿಮ್ಮ ತಾಯಿ ತಂದೆಯನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಿ. ಅವರು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅಜ್ಜ ಅಜ್ಜಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅಜ್ಜ ಅಜ್ಜಿಯನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿಯಲ್ಲ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಂಧುಗಳನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಶ್ರೀ ಮಂಜುನಾಥ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಅನುಗ್ರಹ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥಿಸಿ.
It's my privilege to propose a word of thanks on this wonderful occasion of the 24th annual Convocation. First and foremost, on behalf of the SDMIMD community, I sincerely thank Shri.Kamal for being our chief guest today, spending his valuable time in spite of the busy schedule. This Convocation Address touched upon topics of course just now we have given this wonderful presentation as to what are the stars and how they are able to changing systems and the kind of topics that we need to focus upon, particularly with the sustainable future aspirations and views and several socio-economic issues, which are very relevant and useful to the audience in general and the passing out graduates in particular. So thank you very much, sir. I now request our chairman, Dr. Veerendra Heggade, to hand over the memento to Shri.Kamal as a token of our respect and gratitude. Our respected chairman, Dr. Veerendra Heggade, has always been our source of inspiration, strength, and guidance, and as always in his address, he has expressed his views and observations about the ethics-based value system in education, which is being followed in all state institutes. And he has also highlighted the value-based curriculum, the updates we made in the flagship program of the institute. So we sincerely thank you, sir, for your constant support and encouragement in all of our activities. The members of our governing council and advisory board have been regularly giving their valuable guidance and encouragement in all the activities of the institute, enabling us to pass through a successful journey. On behalf of the SDMIMD, I would like to take this opportunity to place on record our hearty thanks to all the honorable members, particularly those who are here with us today. I sincerely thank Professor S. Prabhakar, Secretary SDMIMD Trust, Dr. Prasanna Chandra, former Professor IIT, Shri R. Venkatnarayan, President HR, IT and Education Planning Holdings Limited, Shri Muthuraman, former Vice Chancellor, Chairman Tata Steel, Shri K. Jairaj, former Additional Chief Secretary, Government of Karnataka, Dr. R. Indira, Professor of Sociology, University of Mysuru, Dr. Sati Gopinath, Professor IIT Kozhikode, and Shri Nishit Jain, Special Advisor Asia, EMF. We thank the members of the print and electronic media who are present here for covering the event. On behalf of the SDMIMD family, let me congratulate the students who have been awarded the Post Graduate Diploma in Business Management today and wish them all the best in career and personal life. We hope that you will continue our association with the institute and be our distinguished brand ambassadors. I thank all the parents and family members who accepted our invitation and are present here to share their great moment of joy and happiness. My sincere thanks to all my faculty and staff colleagues and students for their support and cooperation in making this event a grand success. Finally, I thank all the invitees for being with us today and hope to receive your patronage for the institute in future too. All of you, please join us from 80 immediately after this function. Now I request all of you to write for the national anthem and then remain standing in the convocation position, lead the convocation. Thank you.
I declare the convocation closed. Thank you.